It's now the end of April, and actually yesterday there was a Thai lady walking around the aisles in Marketplace at Ruston's. Just so happened to coincide with me looking for soya milk. So I said, oh, do you know where the soya milk is? I said, oh, what are you doing here? She went, I live with my partner here. Oh, where is he from? He's from the UK. Oh, I'm from the UK. Oh, really? I've just come back from the UK, she said yesterday. And it's wet and cold. So whenever I come up here, I always think about the UK and this time of year, and the fact that it's not great weather, and how fortunate I am to be living in a hot climate.
Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Bigg World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for. It's Wednesday morning at 9 AM already. It's really hot in Sibu. I'm walking up to Marketplace store at Ruston's. I'm quite lucky because I've got 3 stores quite close to me. I've got Landers, I've got Marketplace, and I've got Metro. I normally go to Metro. I used to get all my stuff in Metro, which is a kilometre away, and then get a motorbike taxi back. But with Landers, only a 5-minute walk up the road, I go there and get my chicken and fruit. Now Mike, who lives here, he will go to Carbon and stock up and get cheap fruit and veg at Carbon, but I can't be bothered. I'll just go down the road. This video is going to be me rambling whilst I'm rambling. I've done these sort of videos quite often in the past. I did one a month ago when I came back to Sibu. I did a rambling video then about my 5-year stay in the Philippines. I thought I was due giving you an update on my lowdown, as it were. My current situation, if you're interested. This video was inspired by a few videos I've been watching recently. I was watching Chad Foster yesterday, who has a video about Sikihor and about how wonderful it would be to live on Sikihor. I also watched a recent Regular Guy video where he's literally still moving around. I met him in Malabalay and we spoke about Manila as being probably one of the most perfect spots to live in the Philippines, as you're living in a big city, you've got everything on your doorstep, but you've also got access to a good airport to get away if you want to. And so we agreed that Manila was a good spot to live, which I'll come back to later. I was also watching a Travel Escapes video where Jonathan's been living on Bohol for over 2 years now, and he's just leaving to go somewhere else. I think he's gone to Luzon. And I was quite interested in reading the comments in his latest video. And one of the comments on that video was, why is it that YouTube travel vloggers don't stay in one place for around a year? Why do they always have the itch to shuffle around? Which is another thing I'm going to be talking about. My backstory is I came to the Philippines 5 years ago. My plan wasn't to stay here for more than 2 months. I actually had a flight booked to Jakarta in Indonesia in May 2020. So I arrived in March 2020, and of course that's when the world ended. So I stayed for 5 years. My intention was, at that time, not to look for a place to live in the Philippines. I just was coming here for a holiday, and my intentions were, at that time, probably different to a lot of you who are looking at different areas in the Philippines to live, or are chatting to a Filipina who lives in a certain area. So my intention wasn't to live in the Philippines in the first place, but then over the last 5 years that I've been living here, I've been moving around to different towns, different cities, and I always thought, would I want to live here? So that idea of living in a different place or different city came apart whilst I was moving around and visiting the different towns and different cities, thinking, could I live in that town or city? So I've been to a number of different places all over the Philippines, and I eventually decided being a city boy, that Manila was going to be the place for me. Manila would be the place where I felt it offered me the most. I spent 5 months there in 2023, and then when I went back there last year in 2024 for 3 months, the plan was to settle. So then when I was there last year for 3 months, I thought, is this the place? Is this really the place where I want to settle? And I wasn't totally convinced. And that had been after I'd met Regular Guy in Malabalai, and we had said Manila would be a great place to live. And so I didn't quite feel it. I didn't quite feel it the last time I was there, last year. So then I came back to Sibu 5 weeks ago. Now, I wasn't planning on staying in Sibu. I just flew to Sibu with the idea of going on to Leyte and exploring Leyte. So I was only meant to be here a week. And of course, when I got settled in a condo, that week has become 5 weeks. I'm just extended again for another month. I'm quite lucky in that respect because I'm on a rolling contract. I'm on a rolling monthly contract with the agency downstairs. So I'm quite fortunate. But I'm only fortunate because I have done them a favour in the past and promoted their flats. God, it's so loud. Jesus. So I'm happy staying there, and I'm happy that I'm back in a condo. I love condo living. I'm happy that I'm back in Sibu. Sibu isn't the city for me, as I keep saying, but as a number of conversations I've had with other subscribers, it's not just the city or town that we settle for, it's where we live in that city or town. So I love a rooftop pool, and a rooftop pool has literally become my number one preference now. I mean, in Manila, where I stayed in Manila, there was that beautiful rooftop pool, but it's a hotel and it's not a condo, so I couldn't stay there long term because I need a kitchen. So now I'm staying in a condo with a rooftop pool, so I'm happy as Larry. So a number of other subscribers have said the same thing. They love where they're living. They love their living space. They're not particularly that keen on the city or town they're living in, but they love their living space. So I think that is very important now. We settle for our creature comforts. So I feel at home in the condo where I'm staying now. I don't know how long I'm going to feel like that, but I know, like last year, when I stayed 3 months, I do get itchy feet, and I do want to explore other parts of the Philippines. So I will continue on to Leyte, and I will explore Leyte. But I don't want to rush around as much as I have done in previous years. I feel that I'm coming to the stage now where I do want to settle. But is there a place in the Philippines that I want to settle? I thought it was Manila. It's quite funny actually, because when I first came back to Sibu, I was walking around Metro store, and this foreigner caught my eye as I was walking past him, and we followed each other's eyes, and he pointed at me and said, "YouTuber." He couldn't remember my name, bless. Hello. Bobby. Hello, Bobby. But he said, "You're all over the place." He meant physically, but I meant mentally. So yeah, I am. I'm totally all over the place. I don't know what's going on. So my plan is to stay here for maybe another month, maybe 2 months, and then travel again. But as I said, as I'm getting older and longer in the tooth, I'm not that happy about travelling around as frequently, as much. So yeah, I'm a city boy who loves the beach. So ideally the place I will settle needs to be... Hello! How are we? Are we good?
Good.
So ideally the place I'd like to settle will be a city but with close proximity to a beach, or a city like Sibu and then jump on a plane and go to Boracay. Let's talk about Sikyor. No, I would not like to live in Sikyor. The idea of living on an island with limited resources, even how picturesque and beautiful it is not for me. I need to have access to everything on my doorstep now, which is quite funny because, as I just said, I used to go directly to Metro, get all my stuff. Now I'm going to 3 different stores because Metro doesn't have everything I need. I need to get my chicken and fruit in Landers, and I need to go to Marketplace to get my peanuts. So I have to go to different stores to get different things. So yeah, I've tried Sikyor, I've tried most of the other big cities in the Philippines. I have tried, and I've tried a lot of the islands. So if it isn't Manila, it isn't Sibu. My third option would be Davao. Last year I was in Davao for a month. I do like Davao. Davao is very clean, feels very safe. There's lots going on in Davao, lots of malls, there's lots of greenery, lots of parks. So I do like Davao. So Davao would be my third option. And then of the secondary cities, I've been to Bacolod, which I don't find interesting at all. I've been to Iloilo. I love their riverside walk. I love the downtown city proper area by the river. It is a bit spaced out, I feel, Iloilo. I feel that there's the downtown area and then there's the Mega World area, which is not quite finished yet. So it does feel quite spaced out, Iloilo. Just like me, pretty spaced out. So it is not the perfect spot for me. Perhaps in 5 years' time it might be, when I'm dead. So those are out of the question, really. Where else is there? Other secondary cities? So if you like what you're seeing here, hello, and want to stay connected with life in the Philippines, I think you need to subscribe and click the notification bell. Thank you. Would consider living on Boracay. I mean, everyone gives Boracay a bad press, but Boracay does have everything there. It's got a beach, it's got a mall by the beach, it's got a lot going on, it's got a lot of restaurants. So I would consider living on Boracay. Perhaps I should go and live there for a month or a year, as the guy commented on Travel Escapes video. Why don't you stay a year? Which, ironically, saying to Jonathan on his channel Travel Escapes, which tells you the whole story that he's going to be escaping, why don't you stay there a year? Mr. Irony. So where else? I've been to Dumaguete a few times. I wouldn't want to live there. Doesn't offer enough for me. Great boardwalk, but some great restaurants, but not enough going on to keep me occupied. Other beach destinations, Bantayan, yeah, great for a few weeks, but not great to live, I don't think. It's funny how on one of my live streams recently, a commenter said, why would you live in the Philippines and not live anywhere near the sea? Which is a good point, but as I've just said, beach destinations don't offer that much. I mean, sure, it could be fine for you. You might be happy as Larry just living on a beach and not going anywhere and living with your girlfriend and having not much to do. That might be your ideal life, but for me, as a single guy, I need variety, I need places to go, I need options, I need opportunities. So living close to the sea, in fact in Brighton I lived close to the beach, I lived close to the sea. Although the beach in Brighton was a shingle beach and wasn't sand, but it was ideal, it was idyllic. I did love living in Brighton, which is a city by the sea, but of course 8 months of the year the weather is not great, so it's not the perfect location. If I could have a decent city by the sea like Brighton in the UK, in the Philippines, then that would be wonderful. I need to have All Mod Cons, which is a great album by The Jam. It was probably their best album. Go and play All Mod Cons by The Jam, which is a brilliant album. I need to have access to a decent bookshop. I need everything on my doorstep, as I just said. So living remotely is not for me. But as travel vloggers, will we ever settle? Will there ever be a place where we find and think, this is the place for me? I don't know whether we will find that. It's funny, when I was 20, I was about to head off to America. I had quit my job. I was working in London. I was working in the city in London, and I'd worked in this office for 2 years, and I wasn't totally happy there. It was a job. It was my first job straight from school. And so I decided to quit my job. My friend Brendan had a placement in America in Penn State. So I decided to quit my job and go with him. I remember going to my friend's house just before I went off to the States, and I was chatting to them. My friend, she was older than me. She was around 30, and as I say, I was 20, my friend was 30, and she had a boyfriend who was 40. So I remember talking to them about me going off to the States, and he called me a drifter. And I said, Bob, you can't do that, you're too old to drift. Now, he was 40. It always comes back to me now when I'm 64 and I'm still drifting. So will we ever settle? Will we as travellers ever settle? Will we ever find the place that we want to call home? I think in our DNA as travellers, as vloggers, we want to experience new places. So when a vlogger says, I found it, I found that place and I'm going to settle here, don't believe them. How long's Chad going to stay on Secure? I'll give it a couple of months. Staying in the centre of Sibu, there is everything on my doorstep. I'm here at Ayala. I'm not going to go in because I need to go to the bank. There's an HSBC here. There's only 3 HSBCs in the Philippines, in Manila, Sibu and Davao. And I can get, through HSBC, I can get free ATM withdrawals. So it's a good place to be in a city where I can get free ATM withdrawals. Don't decide on living in one of these 3 cities just because you can get free ATM withdrawals, but it's great whilst I'm here.
Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't. Obviously. Thank you.
So I go to Marketplace to get my peanuts, and guess what? Out of stock, sir. So I end up going to Metro and getting some bits and pieces. The best thing about Metro is if you can go before 10 AM, if you go to Metro before 10 AM, before the mall actually opens, you can get your shopping done before all the crowd invades. That's the best thing about going to the mall first thing in the morning. So I'm starting to walk back. So let's talk about dating areas in the Philippines and meeting Filipinas. So do you choose a Filipina depending on where she lives, or do you find a place to live and then choose a Filipina? Did this video last week with TJ, and we were discussing best places in the Philippines to find your Filipina wife. So what if you go to one of these places and you really don't like it? Davao is a good city for looking for a girlfriend, but what if you go to Davao and you don't like it? If you're new to the Philippines and don't know anything about the Philippines and are coming here with the intention of finding a girlfriend, I would try different cities. I would also stick to the lesser cities like Davao. Now also, you might be chatting to somebody online who lives up the mountain, or you might be chatting to somebody who lives in one of the cities, and then you will go and meet them and you might not like that city or living up the mountain. I would choose the place as a priority rather than choosing a Filipina, because you might not like that place. So you might be chatting online with somebody, you might go and meet her, decide to move there to be with her, and you might hate the place. So personally, I would choose location over a Filipina. Find your location and then find a Filipina to match you. Not find a Filipina and go and live up the mountain, as it were. Oh, so is me fruit stall. Hello, hello. Where's your mum? Where's your mum?
Yes, sir, good morning.
Here she is. How are you? How much are your bananas?
85 per kilo, sir.
It was 80 last week.
How much this week?
80.
80. It's 85 now, sir.
It's gone up. Oh gosh, okay. Prices are always going up.
Which one, sir? This one?
Just get half of it, thank you. Thank you very much. So 85 a kilo there. In Marketplace just now, I saw a sign, bananas 85 pesos. It was 85 pesos for half a kilo. They're so cheeky, aren't they, in Marketplace? Anyway, got everything and I'm heading home.
You've been watching Uncle, the man from Big World Cinema. Please like, subscribe and share with your friends.